Hello, how are you? This is Miho from Canada. How are you guys doing? I hope your mental and physical health are good and fit. So, how you get yourself out of the belief or the curse that you are taught to believe? I had so many of those during my young age, and I was brought up in a very strict family. There's so many rules to follow, which I didn't even think as a child. It just followed because otherwise I get scolded or I get punishment or I get really bad treatment. So I was so afraid against those rules to upset my parents, so I just followed. But at a certain age, in teens, you start to really think about the world, about how people live on this earth. It's not just parents. There are so many other people out there who have different culture background, different thoughts, different ideas, and it's just really a version of reality hit you. And then I realized that okay, I really don't like where I'm at because I didn't feel good about myself. My confidence is low and I have no self-esteem, and it just didn't like myself. And how I was struggling so much because I was in between what I really want to do versus what other people want me to do, which is totally not my thing. But because the way I was brought up to please parents, please the family, so I couldn't really let go of the whole thing to go with my wants and my heart, which consider as extreme selfish things to do in my culture. So I was really struggling to be, who I am, but it's just so many beliefs that was in a way that it didn't really let me to lead, who I really am. And I struggled and struggled. And I was beating myself up and my confidence was low and I just didn't like myself and all that. And the way I got out of it was start observing other people, like other than my really close adults, like family members. And then I realized there are people at my parents' generation or close to it are living very different lifestyle. It's different thoughts, different ways, in a mental way. And then it was fascinating to me. It's like, wow, this is possible. And all of a sudden it hit me. Like it's a different vision, different perspective of the world. And I start to look things in a bigger perspective. Because when you're growing up, your parents, that's about it. And you learn so much from your parents, and then parents look after you, and they might expect you to be a certain way because that's what they know. And I'm not really blaming their parenting because it's always the first time. Like I'm the parent as well, like you have no idea at all. You do your best of the knowledge at that given time and you just give it a shot, right? So probably that's what happened to my parents, but at the time I was struggling so much. And probably my parents too, because their values and beliefs are so different from mine then. So we argue so much, and I was between trying to please them and please myself too, which it just didn't go well. Anyways, so I started observing other people who lead a different thoughts and different perspective of life. And those days there are no YouTube, nothing like that. So I was literally into my books. I read so many books. I learned so many different perspectives of looking at life. And it just wowed me. Like, oh my God, there's so much that I didn't know. And it's so many people who lead a life the way I like it. So I start to really observing how they think and start to implementing in my life. At first, it was really scary because it was totally nothing like what I was told, my belief. So, which was, engraved while I was growing up, right? So it's total transformation in my mind. And for instance, I love the bright color, but for my parents, that's really a no-no. It's too flashy, means you're not a good quality person, or it has a different values to it. And I was told that too. But the real me really likes, the bright color, and I really enjoy it, and I feel really good in it. So when you have the people around you who have totally different values than you, it's really tough, because it's water in an oil. It just doesn't mix. And one tried to please the other, and it just repel each other. So instead of focusing outside, I started working on myself internally. You just start to transforming my mind to the bigger perspective. I put myself into the world, not it's just a little spot in a tiny place. And I start to really observe how those people lead happy, healthy, wealthy life, think and behave, and how they move and talk. So there are so many other examples, not just the parents. Parents are great examples, but sometimes you need to learn something more and to balance it out. And that's how I really transform myself in my mind. And when you change in your mind, your behavior kind of comes along with it, because your mind and the body interconnect each other, and you start to really adapt new ways of thinking. And also the other people who have different values than you used to get really annoyed because it's not what you want to hear. But now when you have developed those transformation mind, you can separate yourself from the others. The others who have values, that's fine, and you start respecting them. It's okay, that's what they need, what they want, what they're comfortable with. And I have my own values, and if those other people will force their values on you and get upset because you're not following their values, you kind of know how to separate yourself, because that's what they need, but you're yourself and it's a separate individual. You're not really being affected by other forces because you're so set with yourself. If you're not with yourself, you get really shaky, and other people's influence will really eat you up because you're not sure about yourself. So it's very important to find where your comfortable place is, your spot that you feel so good about yourself. And that's where you start build the confidence, or you start to see the confidence and the self-esteem rise, and you really learn to separate yourself from the others who used to bug you so much. And that's a big shift that I've learned. And then you can really nurture what your life is like, because when you're happy, your mind, your frequency goes up. When you're not happy, your frequency is very low level, and vibration is very bad, that it attracts those really bad things, and it just gets in that stuck. It gets stuck in that loop So when you're really find yourself and your vibration goes up, so as your frequency, so your level of consciousness will go up, and you start to see the world that you really, really enjoy and really shows who you really are. So that's how I turn myself around. So be with a mentor or coach or the friends who have a good mindset, and that's how you can really transform yourself to become who you really, really are. Okay, so see you soon. Bye.